And we are live, Anna. Hi, Anna. Lovely to see you again after a month. Seems such a long time since our last session, our last Entrepreneurs Conversations live stream. I don't know if it's more than a month, whether we delayed it or if it's less than a month. However, it seems like a long time probably because we've both been doing a lot in the last few weeks. I've been to New Zealand. I've visited my friends and my family 2 nights for 11 nights, 2 nights at each person's place. So I was on the go the whole time with my family and very good friends. So it always seems like the time has expanded when we do things like that. And what about you, Anna? How are you doing, and what have you been up to in the last month, if it is a month?
It sounds like you had a really good month there, Karen. And it sounds like you packed a few months into 1 month, and that's why you feel it's a little longer. Or maybe you miss me too much. You feel like, I want to meet Anna again. So either of them is good. And look at the way we show up today. You just come back from New Zealand 2 days ago, and here you are. There, you show up beautifully. And that's so appropriate for today's topic, where we're talking about how we decide to show up. Yeah. So what's your thoughts, Karen, on what you about to share with me?
Yeah, thank you. It's so good you asked me that, because I was thinking I've just done had another hat on and done a few hours from 7:30 until just now and walked in. And actually I was struggling to stay awake on the way home driving. And I was thinking about, how we show up. And I could have come on and said, "Oh, I'm really tired. I've been to New Zealand. I'm I'm 2 hours ahead. I had to get up so early, but blah blah blah." And of course, that's what we sometimes do, is that we listen to that continual conversation and story about whatever's going on in our life. We listen to it in our head, and it's often not the most positive conversation and story that we could have, because we tend to default to the negative as that's our humanness. And then I was thinking, well, I can't show up like that. I want to show up the way that we want other people to benefit by, which is motivated and exciting and dedicated to giving you all a wonderful session with us, with our Entrepreneurs Discussions today. So the topic of how you want to show up, I really want to talk about how we choose how we show up. We can choose. We don't realize that we have a choice, and we can choose, how am I going to show up today? Every single day when we wake up, we can say to ourselves, who do I want to be today? How am I going to show up today? And we can either do it the night before and say, tomorrow, or we can do it when we get up. And then it's actually a choice. Do we want to show up as a kind and helpful person, giving all through our day, helping people out, giving help or with other things? Or do we want to show up as a motivated and high energy person? So depending on what we've got on and what we're attending, we can make a decision for the appropriate way we would like to show up each day. So it is a choice. It is a decision, and it is a choice that we can make about how we are going to be.
So I totally agree with you, Karen. I must admit that there was days when I did not want to get up and go to work, because I felt so tired and I wished I could just have a month off work. That was when I used to work 9 to 5, right? And then starting a journey of entrepreneurship, it's a totally different thing. You have to motivate yourself. In the olden day, you have to be motivated. I was motivated by, my boss. What did he think about me? Or the salary at the end of the month. I have to make the money to support my life. And then now, showing up as an entrepreneur, you have to decide every single thing you think and your emotion, how you want to feel, your thought, how do you want to think, and then your action, how do you want to act today, so that you have a purpose and you have a goal to achieve. So it's all up to me now, Karen. No one push or no one pull anymore. It has become more challenging, isn't it? But when you were talking, somehow you brought into my mind the image of my in-laws. I am, you brought the whole journey of life to me. Like when we were born, our parent would go make an announcement to the world. Here, welcome, this little baby, name ABCD, weight, 3.5 kilos. Welcome them to the world. That's how we show up. We're crying, right? So something is about human innate that we show up crying as a baby. For whatever reason, baby don't talk, we don't know. And then from then on, we have to learn. We learn to express all kind of emotion and express ourselves fully over time. And then we grow up as an adult. We learn to express ourselves one way or another for whatever reason, whether you want to show up in order to gain support so that you can be successful at school, to get support from teachers, from the parent, from all the relatives that we have, from friends. And then we learn to give back to all these relationships. So in my mind, we all have a purpose in one way or another. It doesn't have to be an entrepreneurship purpose. But we were born and then we show up. Yeah, so the question, how do we want to show up, can be so simple as getting up every day. And like you said, deciding, how do you want to feel today? What's your thought on that? How do you switch from, I'm so tired, to the other extreme of,
Yeah, well, like I said to you, it's a choice. I am really tired. However, I don't choose to show up and say, oh, I'm really tired. I'm so tired. Poor me. I always choose to take a different way of being. It doesn't serve me to say I'm really tired and be all down and negative. It doesn't serve what we do and what we're getting on with. And like this session, if I'd come on and said, oh, I'm so tired, I've actually been to New Zealand and I didn't sleep last night. And so, yeah, we do have a choice. And as soon as we switch, as soon as we go, oh, I'm going to show up today in a positive way, I'm either going to give, or like I say, I'm going to be motivated or motivate other people, or I'm going to be kind and generous. As soon as we make that decision, we do it. Like the unconscious mind will do whatever we ask it to. So maybe this will be a good time for me to share maybe a way that some of us can help ourselves to show up in a better way in the mornings. And this is something I learned off Roger James Hamilton, who is an entrepreneur, amazing entrepreneur and futurist, one of my mentors. And he founded the Entrepreneurs Institute, and he created the Wealth Dynamics process. And so what he said is there are 8 questions to reset us back to zero each day. This is what it is, 8 questions. So if you get up and you're feeling anything other than amazing, then these 8 questions are really great to reset yourself to zero each day. And he said the best place to do this is near water if you can. If you can sit and ask yourself, water is, it helps us to be innovative, and even it helps our intuition. And so every day you want to be reset back to zero because, for example, if you think of scarce resources, you are thinking in scarcity. If you are thinking in ideas and love and possibility, you're thinking in positive emotive terms. So here's the questions. I'll run through them, and if anybody wants them, who's here listening to this, joined us, or if they watch the replay, please ask. Reach out on LinkedIn or YouTube, or even on my Facebook, and ask if you would like these 8 questions in a PDF, or just write them down. So the first one, and if you're not near water, you can simply have a bowl of water next to you, by the way. There are always more than one ways of achieving the same result. Okay, so you could just put a lovely bowl of water next to you. So the first one to ask yourself is, what am I grateful for? And when you ask what I'm grateful for, and you start thinking about that, it changes your frequency straight away. Oh, what am I grateful for? You know, today, what am I grateful for? Well, one of the things I'm grateful for is that I woke up this morning, because, you know, there are many people in the world who didn't wake up this morning.
That is exactly what my in-law often say to me. They're like in their early 90s, and they every single day they look impeccable. They don't just show up. They get up and they do their things, and they get dressed.
Wow.
You know, and I never catch them in their bad, you know, outlook.
Wow.
Even in their late 90s, and their surrounding, their environment is taken care of so that it look beautiful and presentable as well. And I think it's not just about being presentable, but that effort to show that they appreciate life. They appreciate another day of living and doing something. And every single word they use toward us is about loving and, you know, encouraging and supporting. And that is my example. They might not like me to talk about them like this, but I really, I just saw such an example to live by, you know, like to follow. Anyway, back to you.
That's beautiful, Anna. And I agree. My mum, I spent some time with when I was in New Zealand. She is 91. She'll be 92 in September. And she still gets up every day, like you say. She's a little later now after my dad passed away, and she doesn't have to get up. And sorry about that noise. I'll tell you what it is after the session, Anna. She had to get up earlier to be ready, have breakfast before the ladies came. People came to shower my dad. So now she's changed her get up time, I think, to 8:30. But she gets up and she has to shower and gets dressed, and always puts on her lipstick and her eyeshadow, and always looks beautiful whether she's going anywhere. Really, you know, how she likes to present herself.
It's a habit.
No matter what she's doing.
Just a habit. Yeah. Just such a good habit to have.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so the other thing I want to share with you is that, which is pretty amazing, is that my mum lives in a retirement village, and 2 doors down is a man who was turning 108 on Monday, I think it was. 108 years old, and he always recognizes me and says hello when I go there. He's fully compass, really amazing, 108 years old. So there you go. So he must be showing up in a positive way most days as well, I would imagine. He's always positive when I see him.
Yes, so that positive mind actually make us feel better, and so we attract good energy, because the energy that sustain life, I am sure it will flow into the people who appreciate life. Anyway, back to the question. I love it. The first question was, what am I grateful for?
What am I grateful for? Which is a fantastic question to ask ourselves every single day. And we can think of at least 3 things. It's good to think of 10 or more. However, I encourage everyone to think of at least 3 things that they're grateful for every day. The second question is interesting, this one. It's, who do I love? And see who comes up for you when you ask this question, and be open to the answer. Sometimes we can love people who are difficult for us to deal with or be with. And it might come up and say, I love that person. So be open to what your unconscious mind, or subconscious, most of us call that, Tell us.
I reckon we can start with the easy one. Love the easy one to love first.
Yes.
And then work our
Absolutely.
way. Okay. thank
Yes,
you.
and it's more than one. Who do I love?
Yeah.
It can be many.
But
So
I
the
know
third-
there's for some people they can't find even one person in their life to love, and that happens,
No, that's
and it can be
very
tough. Yeah, so have to find a way to love someone. Maybe
Mhm.
other people have tough life as well, maybe. So for that reason, we can have the sympathy to love them. I don't know, but can be a tough one to answer.
Yeah, it
But
could be
also
someone in your
question-
life who's helped you, who's given you some lessons that have made a difference, or it could be an animal
Mhm.
as well.
Animals, maybe
Yeah.
for that situation, animal could be a good one.
And so the third one is a really good question as well. It's a bit like number one. It's why am I so happy? Now, when you ask this question, it always makes you smile or laugh. Why am I so happy? Even if you were feeling like bad before. So step up and ask yourself, why am I so happy? So that's a very powerful question, number 3. Number 4, what
Find
am
that people, I used to ask myself, why am I so sad? Rather than ask myself that
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
Mm.
Let's see how you can flip everything and it changes the way we think. The 4th one is, what am I committed to? So if you
Nothing.
don't have
I'm
something,
committed to nothing.
Hmm?
What about I'm committed to nothing? Then how do you deal with that?
Well, that's not something. So you want to look for something you are committed to, whether it's having a restful, retired life, or looking after my health, or. There is something we are all committed to achieving or doing or living in a particular way. And it's like we said, you look for it. You look for the answers to these questions. These questions are thought-provoking in a positive way. And when you ask them,
Can you give an example of something very small that someone can committed to when they say, oh, I can't answer this question, it's too hard?
well, it could be eating a healthy diet.
That's hard.
That's hard.
Mm.
Well,
Is
it
there
could
something
be
small and easy?
rewarding myself when I make some, when I, do something, rewarding myself or acknowledging myself when I achieve a goal.
Hard. It's hard.
That could be
I find it
committed.
hard myself too.
Can you think of something then? What are you committed to, Anna?
Brushing my teeth
Okay, brushing my teeth every day.
carefully.
Right.
Brushing my teeth carefully.
And as you progress through this and ask these questions every day, you will come up with.
Or maybe
other things
committed
that
to going to bed before 11.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go. And then
I brush my teeth. Okay. And this is
Yeah,
just something.
and then going to bed before 11, or you could say both of them. And now the next one is interesting because now it's saying, how committed am I? And let me just explain this. Often you don't have to do anything. Just by saying it, the universe has a way of making it happen. So you could be committed to giving back. You could be committed to you could be committed to showing up as a kind person that day.
Or maybe just go shopping for food once a week. Or maybe go for a walk 5 minutes every day.
Yeah, anything that you're committed to doing. And then the next question, how committed am I? So am I really going to do it? Yeah, how committed am I?
How committed?
How committed am I to what you are committed to? So if it's going for a walk every day, okay, how committed am I? Am I going to do that every day? Or am I sort of kind of, oh, maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't? Interesting.
Love it. Yes.
And then that was number 5. Number 6 is, what is my intention? So that's a bit like showing up. It could be like, to make everyone happy I come into contact with today, or you could do something simple. Your intention could be something more simple, like getting through the day without having a meltdown, or getting through the day without having without falling asleep at the car and at the wheel of the car.
Do you know what? I'm telling you this little story. When I was still working, like the last few years of my work, when I was thinking about doing something else, but I haven't done yet. So it's kind of 3 years of in limbo. And I felt like I lost my purpose for showing up at work.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, I was very happy because big learning curve and new job, new life in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
And then after, I just like kind of like, oh, I've done a lot of things in here. Now, what next? And those years were tough, because when you don't have the real purpose, real reason to learn. And then I have decided one day that if I'm this unhappy, maybe I just show up happy. I decided to say, okay, today I just show up and make, smile at everybody. I decided that, and I thought it was a silly thought, and I kept it secret, and I didn't share with anybody. That's how I dealt with it, so that I could show up, because I couldn't quit my job then, because I still need money. I still need to earn an income, but I kind of like wasn't that excited anymore, and that was my secret. And then one day, this guy said, "How come you're always smiling? And can you just shut that up? Shut that down?" And I was like, I could not tell him that is something I hold on so that I can get up and show up at work. So that's a little story.
That's your intention.
That was your intention, so that I can survive.
Yeah, that was your intention.
And until I find something else. Yeah.
Amazing.
Just
and
secret share with you, and now share with the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing, because I'm sure other people will identify with that. So
we have to find ways we can get up and, we do the right things. Otherwise, I wanted to feel good. I did not want to just show up when I did not enjoy getting up. And it's harder to get up when I feel like, oh, I don't want to repeat another day. And then I say, oh, at least I show up. And then there's my friends at work. Maybe, people can benefit from a smile. It could be even a fake smile, like deep down, I wasn't happy with that. But at least at least be happy about it. So I decided to do that for a few years while I was looking for a way out. And eventually I found someone sharing with me something. So, and then that somehow it helped, because I guess being sulky didn't really help me in any way. So yeah, thank you. And waiting for the 7 and the 8.
Thank you. And because as I say, there are many people who will watch the replay and identify with this. And I think it's really important to get the message is that we can make the decision. If our story is telling us things aren't so great or we're not so happy, we can change that. You changed it. And what would have happened is when you showed up looking as if you were happy, other people would have responded to you as if you were happy, which would have changed how you felt. And it's also important to remember that we can trick the unconscious mind into even thinking something has happened that hasn't even happened, and produce the hormones and pheromones and all the chemicals that our body would produce if it had happened. So it's really important to understand that we've got control. If we learn and know how to do it, we have control of anything in our lives. Now, number 7 is interesting as well. It is, what is my wish? If you had a magic genie, what would your wish be? What is my wish? And just think what shows up for you if you are in flow. Notice what shows up for you. What is my wish?
I wish a lot of diamond. Lots of diamond.
Well, keep
Is that a
wishing
good
it.
wish?
Keep wishing it. Keep wishing
Yep.
it.
Diamond is the what do you call it? Diamond is
Girl's
the
best friend. The diamond is the girl's best
girl's
friend.
best friend. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. And number 8, big one. Why am I here? Why am I here in this country at this time with the people around me I have, doing what I do? Why am I here? It's your big why, your purpose in life.
I noticed that the question getting harder and harder. Yeah.
Well, maybe you can change your perspective to notice that the questions are really helpful and interesting to help us reset back to 0.
You're right. But look, judging that the other question, it's like if I
No
never
but,
answer
no
them
but.
before, if I never answer them before, it can be quite tricky. Why am I here?
They are very, very,
but I guess
very
the first
good
question is
questions.
quite easy to answer.
And so I want to finish that set of questions by saying it's the metaphysical world where the magic happens. And when we are working in this way with our thoughts and our feelings and the frequency that we're operating at, we're working with the qualities and the magic of the metaphysical world. So that's where the magic happens.
Wonderful. Can I repeat that I write down? Question number 1, what am I grateful for? Question number 2, who do I love? Question number 3, why am I so happy? Question 4, what am I committed to? Just any small thing or big thing.
Perfect.
Number 5, how committed am I? Number 6, what is my intention? Number 7, what is my wish? And number 8, why am I here? Love it. Thank you. I'm going to answer these. I answered them before, but I like to repeat, and more clarity come the more I do it.
So Roger Hamilton's suggestion is that we do this every day. We go somewhere quiet, next to water if possible, or like I say, even with a bowl of water next to us, and we ask the questions of ourselves, of our higher selves, of the universe. And you just spend 5 or 10 minutes doing that every day. And each question, you don't force the answer. You watch what comes up for us. You listen and notice what comes up for you with each of the questions, and then move on to the next one. And if you do that, you will be amazed at the outcome and how you are resetting every day back to 0. Even things like we said, what am I committed to? What is my intention? We started the session today by talking about that. And that's exactly what he's doing in that, is that if we actually set our intention for the day, like you say, it can be small, it can be, and I encourage everyone to make these things positive. So it could be, well, I'm going to show up, everybody I come into contact with, I'm going to give to them, whether it's a compliment. Compliments are giving, whether it's a compliment or a helping hand, carrying someone's bag or shopping. I was on the plane on the way back and I had a 7-kilogram carry-on bag that I was putting over my shoulder. And the man who'd been sitting next to me said to me, "Oh, I can take that for you. Would you like me to take that for you off the plane and through to the baggage?" And he said, and I said, "Oh, it's heavy." And he said, he was a young man. He said, "Look, he'd been walking the whole length of New Zealand from the top of the North Island to the bottom of the South Island." Wow. He was a tramper. And he said, "I've been carrying bags like that, heavier than that for, 3 weeks." Yeah. So I gratefully accepted his offer to help me with my heavy bag. And it made such a difference, because then once I got my suitcase, I could put the bag on. Well, I got a trolley as well, so it was didn't have to lump that heavy bag around with me. So, you can do some little thing that makes a big difference to someone else, even if it's simply a compliment and a smile. Or a smile.
It's amazing. Such a value added session and the conversation today, Karen. Personally, to myself, I love these questions, and when I use these questions on people who I'm working with, that you can guarantee that what you gave me will pass on.
Thank you.
So I am so grateful for this.
Passing it on is another wonderful thing we can do with people. Pass it forward. And what do they call it? Pay it forward. So if you receive something from someone else, pay it forward. How can you pay it forward? That could be your intention for one day. I'm going to pay it forward.
Yes. I am intending, my intention is to learn something and use it and pay it forward. And thank you for recommending the name as well. I think you mentioned his name before, but I didn't look into that. And today it just kind of sink in. And sometimes you have to repeat it sometimes, you have to bring it up a few times for it to sink in, because any new information is a new thing for the brain to absorb. And I am a slow learner as well. So thank you very much for bringing it up again and repeat it so I can learn. Slow learner, need repetition. I need so much of that. In both languages, I learn really slowly. I think
of course, yes. I imagine things maybe a little more challenging when your English is a second language for you, and we're speaking in
even in Vietnamese. Even in Vietnamese, I read something multiple times before I could comprehend it. Could actually see the depth of the experience trying to communicate through this sentence. What is it? What did they live through in order to say this? For me to get that, it's taking time. Yeah. So thank you so much.
That's my pleasure. And also, you notice I mentioned Roger and acknowledged that he gave us these questions. I believe it's of utmost integrity to acknowledge the person who you take some work from, or you share some work or thoughts or written material. So Roger Hamilton has been a mentor of mine. I met him in early 2000 and joined the Entrepreneurs Institute, and have done quite a lot of mentoring and programs with Roger. I've been to Bali and done his iLab, other programs he does. He's an amazing, amazing person. One of the most incredible minds I have ever met. Ever had the pleasure
You're
to
so
connect.
Humble. You're very humble, Karen. You are the you living example of humility.
Oh, thank you. Well, on that note, I think it's time for us to finish. We've just gone 5 minutes over the 30 minutes. So I hope everyone who watches this has gained some benefit from it, gained some knowledge, and learned how to reset to zero each day and show up in a way that they choose, in a positive way, rather than before maybe we were showing up in the story that itty bitty shitty committee was telling us, as one of my friends used to call it, or calls it. So there we go. Lovely to talk with you, Anna, and we'll sign off now. And thank you, everyone.
See you next time.
Yes, see you in a month. All right. Bye, everyone.